Welcome to this presentation on integrating AI into writing-intensive courses. I'm Kris Irwin from the Management Department at Old Dominion University's Strome College of Business.
We have to talk a little bit about writing. So Management 45W is a big writing course. All the students to take it, to graduate, they have to make a C or better. And it's 51% or more writing. And I had a very similar journey back in 2023. AI coming about, working around, gonna see it. Didn't really see it. And then it started infiltrating it. And it really got bad. They didn't do a good job. That was the one thing about AI, is it didn't really do a good job. I asked it to do a complete strategic report for us, and it didn't really do much. It kind of pasted some stuff in here. It didn't really read well. So it's pretty obvious students were using it. Fast forward a year, it can write the whole report. Now it's not necessarily right the whole time, but it looks pretty good. It passed the sniff test. So I was thinking about a few of the tricks of the trade I've learned over the last couple of years to help make sure our students are actually learning, which is their goal here, right? So I have a rule of three. That's a typical thing in my class. Remember things in threes. So here's my three takeaways. Talk about using a variety of tools, how you actually can document their use of AI so you know how they're using it and you can correct it if they're using it incorrectly. And then the revisions, because writing requires revisions. Otherwise, you're not going to get any better. Even if you're using AI, you still are required revisions. So there's lots of tools I use in my class. I keep engaging with more and more tools as they become available. ChatGPT is the student's favorite. That's their go-to. So anything goes into ChatGPT first.
Here are some specific AI tools that you can incorporate. ChatGPT for copy editing, Napkin for visual graphics, Microsoft Copilot for financial analysis, and specific special tools for pod creation and explainer videos, for example.
We still have students who do not want to use AI. They're scared of it, and they don't want, they think it's going to take too long to learn, and they think that if they get caught using it, they're going to get in trouble. So we still have students who don't want to use it. And so some of them have said, oh, I'm not using AI at all in this course. I'm like, have you read the syllabus? You actually are required for certain assignments to use AI. Because the job place, their workplace in the future, is going to have them use it. If they don't have them use it, then they're behind. So making visuals, again, communication, not just about writing words, it's about communicating with pictures. My favorite actually is a financial analysis. I started this, I guess, a year ago now. They have to video themselves. So they have to have a Zoom video running where they have their ChatGPT up, where they ask for a financial analysis with 3 ratios across 3 years for the company they're writing on. A year ago, ChatGPT couldn't do it at all. It can now do a pretty good job. But on the video, they have to then show themselves validating the ChatGPT numbers on the annual report. The nice big PDF, 100 pages, right? Then they have to go into the ODU Merchant Atlas database and validate those numbers for a 3rd time. I can tell you that I just finished grading them all. There was some vulgar language from time to time because some of the students got really frustrated because ChatGPT was not giving them the right answers. Because if they're all right, it was very easy. I took a survey on my class last night and I had 4 students where ChatGPT got 100%, got an A+. I had 4 students where AI refused to process the files, refused to even do the assignment. And all the reps were in that mix of correcting things. But the point wasn't all of that. The point was getting them to actually understand what these data, numbers, and reports were, and that sometimes AI gets it wrong. I mean, that was the whole point of the assignment, right? So, one thing I require in my class is you have to disclose your use of AI.
Documentation of AI use is crucial. We require a detailed table showing where and how AI was used, with direct links to conversations and explanations of the purpose.
Every chat link has to be shared. If you don't, it's a minus 30% deduction. You have to make a C, which is a 73% in the class to graduate. So if you do not provide documentation, you do not graduate. So that is a requirement. And part of that also is if they say they did not use AI. Some students still refuse to use it, even though they're the ones that need it the best, because they really need that copy editing help. If they're over 30% on the 0 GPT, sometimes I'm trying to turn it in. I have a couple other tools, depending on what I'm looking for. They have to have a meeting with me if they're still playing with AI. There are some AI tools that will copy edit for you, and it actually shows up as a higher percentage. But in some cases, the students just kind of mimic AI. So that's when we just have a conversation, and I ask them, talk me through your process of how you did this in writing. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. But again, it's another opportunity for us to talk with our students. Last thing about revisions. So I use Google Docs, which are embedded through Canvas collaborations. I've been doing that for 3 or 4 years now. But part of the use of AI is they have to do revisions. And they can't just replace a whole section, right? And so they have to do it sentence by sentence. That requires them to read the AI response of how to fix a sentence and then make their edits. That's basically embedding and not narrating of how do I make this better? How do I make this sentence better? How do I make this paragraph better? And so you can see here, it was a comment, all the students provide comments on their peer reports. They have to respond to the comment, which means they had to have read the comment and understood what was wrong and what they could edit, and then they have to make the adjustment. And of course, through track changes, you can see what they did. You can see that how they make the changes. And so it really has an impact in improving their actual writing that they actually understand versus just throwing it into an AI and just creating it for themselves. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining this session on integrating AI into writing courses. Remember the key points. Use various tools, document AI usage, and maintain transparency through revisions and comments.